Who's starting?
Anybody can start.
Siddharth.
Well, new day, but the trending topic still remains. The main issue is about this individual.
Is he the number one trend?
Yes, it's
Right
still.
now?
It's
But is it an issue? Why do you say issue?
not an issue. As I
Talking
mean,
point.
main talking point.
But you said it's an issue.
I mean, it's not in a negative way. Why do you have to interpret everything in a
Issue
negative
has
way?
a negative connotation.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Are there positive issues in life?
Yes. See, you mentioned
actually
it.
There is.
Positive
It's
issues.
Like another word for
Good
kids.
headache.
Kids is also issues.
Yeah.
For kids.
Acha.
See,
Like,
for ire there is
they
anger.
do not have any issue. Meaning,
Yeah.
don't have kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have any issues. So
So it's just another learning. English is a very funny language.
very complicated.
It is.
You have to know.
At least
And ire is anger, and ire is not
Flat.
yeah. Oh, there is.
good headache is Indian English.
Yes.
Today only I read somewhere where I think an English guy has written that I've spent too much time with Indians that today I said that I came to office and I said, but I did this today morning only. This today morning is a very Indian thing. So I said I myself said it today.
I know.
Today morning only I. This morning.
This
or whatever,
morning.
right? So
Today.
it's like
Hello.
hello, no, hello, Harshit, this side.
This side.
This
This
side.
side.
Very-
The pre-pone.
A prepone. There's no word like
There's
that.
no word called.
Now
pre-pone,
it's been
yeah.
added, I think.
Has it?
It's
No,
now
I don't think so.
it became so overused. Now I think if you do a Google search for pre-pone, I think it's
Has
been
it?
added to the dictionary. I think Jugaad is also now added to the dictionary.
That they do, what happens is that words which start
Pre-pone,
being used commonly, they add it.
Exactly.
But provided they're correct word. So in case of Jugaad, it is a word in another language. As soon as it seeps into another
No,
language.
pre-pone is there. No.
It's not a word.
Not there yet.
Not yet.
No, because that's why I say it cannot be, because that's an incorrect word. That word doesn't exist. In case of Jugaad, it is a word of another language which starts coming into this language. So, for example, bazaar.
Yeah.
Bazaar was a Indian word or a Hindi word or
It became
Hindustani
incorporated
word
in the West
in
also, na?
English.
Harper's Bazaar or something of that kind.
Not
No,
bizarre.
now bazaar is
Bazaar.
a
Yeah.
English word.
For example, Juggernaut.
Juggernaut, yeah.
Yeah.
Shampoo.
Shampoo. Yes.
Do you know where shampoo comes from? How is shampoo an Indian word? Do you know?
No.
So very interesting and true story. It originated from the word called champi. Champi, which is
Malish, tail malish.
champi.
Head massage.
Head massage. Yeah.
So the Gora Sahib in India would get champi, and champi with the accent kept moving towards shampoo.
Shampoo.
So like
Wow.
to
So
wash
the
the
origin of the
champi
word
off,
is champi.
you need a shampoo.
Yeah, so you would get a full hair. It was basically a hair treatment, which eventually, over the years, from champi moved to. It wouldn't have happened immediately.
Yeah.
It's like Thakur for Tagore.
Yeah.
He was Rabindranath Thakur, which
you get
because of
Tagore.
pronunciation changes by the English became Tagore. Tagore wasn't his name. So like that, champi became shampoo.
Shampoo. Malish.
Can you believe?
Tail malish.
So words that fit into a language or come into a language can become. But prepone is no word in no language.
I just checked because I don't trust Shashwat spellings.
But see.
No, it's Indian. It's written Indian.
Yeah.
That's why I did.
So it was only in
I just
India.
wanted to
Yeah.
cross check because I know about his
No,
spelling errors.
That's why I did not say because it was written Indian beneath that. That's why.
You should try
See, even the
spelling
Cambridge has
No,
a
I'm
word now
telling
called
you, no.
prepone. Even the Cambridge has it. So because I remember reading somewhere that a
it's
set
come.
of words have been added,
And
but it was
they're calling
all
it Indian word.
Yeah,
Indian.
because
that's
the
why I said
correct,
it's not
correct
added.
English was always reschedule. You reschedule something.
Yeah.
Postponing was always a thing, but nothing being brought forward was called prepone. But
Very Indian.
we've
Very
given
Indian.
something to the world apart from the zero.
Talking about giving something to the world, we have given another ICC chair.
Yeah, fifth
At the age of 35.
Fifth one at that.
Fifth man to reach there.
Yes.
Before, see, again, there will be a few challenges, but I wanted to just point out one thing before we get into the debate or whatever. It is not in jest that I say that we have given ICC another Indian thing. being an ICC chair has the power to change a lot of things. And truth be told, ICC chairman before and now Jay Shah has become that, so he will have the power. And I look at it as a very positive thing. I know, like right now, the biggest talking point has been what does he do, challenges, he's cooling off, he comes back, and I agree. But the only thing I want to remind everyone that we've forgotten the importance of having an Indian become an ICC chair. Because this generation has become so used to us dominating cricket and, it now comes as no surprise. Like it was announced, you say, wow, great, Jay Shah has become an ICC chair. It's no surprise. And we have suddenly started looking at things like what he should do, what are the challenges, right? That's our outlook. But I just want to take you back to the 90s when we first had an ICC chairman who was an Indian in Jagmohan Dalmia. What a massive thing it was. And I don't want that feeling to get lost because now he's the fifth. But what we are forgetting that ICC was, a Gora organization. I mean, I don't want to get into the stories of 83 where 2 passes were denied and India won't even say, that's another thing. But maybe it's a story, maybe I can tell it, or maybe I thought I'll do it for sport. But since we are on that, I'll tell you. That when just to give you an idea how tough, when Jagmohan Dalmia became, and we covered that very extensively because majority of my career was when Jagmohan Dalmia was the president and we did a lot of BCCI politics election. When he became, and even though I was not a journalist, but because we would do a lot of profiles, so there's certain things I've just remembered. When he became the president in 97, after the 1996 World Cup that India organized, which was a grand success. Now here's a guy who brought money into the game. They won the case in 93, Bindra and him. And remember before that, we paid money, or we in the sense cricket, BCCI paid money to Doordarshan.
Yes.
I think they paid 5 lakh per match or something like that, so that they could
broadcast.
They could take out the production expense.
Yeah.
But DD said, I have to show you the match. I need 5 lakh here. I have camera people. I have this. I need facilities, satellite, uplink. Give me 5 lakh, then I'll show you a match on TV. Cut to where IS Bindra and Jagmohan Dalmia formed this partnership and said, boss, you give us money. And they won a court case in 93, and from there on, I think India-England series it was, they won that court case, and from that money started coming. Anyway, point is why ICC, being an ICC chairman is a big thing, because when Jagmohan Dalmia, and not a lot of people remember, when Jagmohan Dalmia became or was to become an ICC chairman, it was not easy. Yeah. The Western world did not want it. It was going to be very tough for him to come. There was voting. But what India did very well was Jagmohan Dalmia and IS Bindra started doing the spade work before that to get vote. Yep. But when the election happened in 96, I think he won by a massive margin. It was 25 to 10 or 25 to 12. He was up against Malcolm Gray. Malcolm Gray, he won that ICC president. Firstly, to get more members to vote for you was going to be very tough. He fought that. He won that election 25-13, if I'm not mistaken. And you know what they said? They could not digest the fact. They said, but there is another clause in the voting which says that the regular test playing nation, which were 9 at that time, if I'm not mistaken, you have to get 2/3 of that. So you can win the entire election 25 to 13 because there were other members also voting. But within that, there is a clause that the test playing nation, you have to get 2/3 of their votes also, and you are falling short. So the Western world at that time did not want. He went back to the drawing board. Again, a year later came back for the election, garnered enough to ensure that both clauses are met, and then became. So it was very tough for an Indian to become. We're taking this very lightly. In fact, I'll tell you a few more things. And if I'm not mistaken, this was when he initially became the ICC chairman. He was addressing a press conference, and he was told at that time by another ICC member that no, I will answer the press conference. It was the ICC chairman's press conference. He said, no, he will not be replying to your questions. I will. And then obviously when questions were asked that, he's the chairman, he should be answering question. They were told, no, accent will be an issue. Foreign journalist asking, he will not understand the accent. So, which was again an eyewash. But these are the things that were said that, he will not understand the accent, so I will. Of course, Jagmohan Dalmia later stamped his authority and said, no, I will understand the accent. I may not have the best accent myself, but I will understand it and answer in my way. So those were in fact, there was in those days, ICC was based in England. Like everything was based in England. ICC office was in London. There was no cabin for the ICC boss. The CEO at that time, whoever that was, I can't remember. The CEO at that time used to have a cabin, and there was no cabin for the chairman. Jagmohan Dalmia being, is very famous story, everyone in the cricketing circle will tell you. When he was there, he said, okay, you don't have a cabin for me, you have two options. Okay, one, either construct the cabin for me, or two, the CEO will come every day to my hotel room, sit in the lobby and work from there, because he needs to work in tandem with me. So your choice, either get him there every day, sit in the hotel and work where I'm staying, or you create a cabin for me. So, I mean, these are the biases, these are the things that Indians had to fight for to get a hold into the cricketing world, which wasn't made easy by the Western world, by the first world at that time. So, again, credit to this gentleman. I will tell you very honestly also, I had a couple of run-ins with him, not very pleasant ones, because in those days I used to do a TV show and we were not very... See, it's not him, but whoever was in power, you would go after them, right? This is an issue. And so I remember calling him for an interview once, and he gave me not a mouthful, like he was very dignified. He said, no, but you guys always go after me. You say this, you say that, and your expert brings about my family. What was my family done wrong? You go after me, you guys do it. But it was like his way of also presenting. I said, I will not speak to you because you do it like this and you bring me down. But that's fine, that was his prerogative. So even though we're very critical of him, but I think in today's day and age, people who have started following cricket now need to realize the contribution of not just Jagmohan Dalmia, IS Bindra at that time, N.K. Salve before that when he was the chairman.
87 World Cup.
Correct.
Played a big role with Jagmohan.
They got the Reliance World Cup. Though he was not the ICC chair, so I restricted myself to people. So I want everyone to realize that even now, Jay Shah's elevation to that, for us it's become a norm. It's like, when you are living in a very simple middle class family, maybe ice cream was a very rare thing. You would enjoy it. But as soon as you started earning, you had all the money, you could buy an ice cream whenever you want. I don't want you to forget the joy of enjoying the ice cream just because you can now afford it any day. You remember the time where you could not and you had to go to your parents to request, and whichever day you got an ice cream, you'd be happy. So Indian cricket was in that state. It was started by Jagmohan. So even today, Jay Shah becoming an ICC chair is an achievement for
it continues this decade-long. I mean, if you're at this half a decade that you've seen from 2008 onwards, it's been India that's been dominating, even off the cricket field also. I mean, you've got 4 ICC chairmen all from India in this last couple of decades, if you look at it. Sharad Pawar, Shashank Manohar, then there was also N. Srinivasan, and now Jay Shah. So that is why the dominance is there. And
no, just because it's happening very often, let's not take it lightly.
No. I mean, it's a tribute that, see, Jay Shah at such a young age, I mean, at the age of 35, it's no mean feat to have gotten to the highest position. I mean, he's potential second Vishwaguru, if you have to look at it, in this country.
Wow, Vishwaguru.
Don't do that, you guys start getting trolled.
I mean, I said second Vishwaguru. If they muffle out the second, then I can't help it then, if the trolls do it. The first Vishwaguru is our Prime Minister. And
but even don't get into that, because there are memes made on that. So be careful with any words that you use.
Sure. So
don't get politics into it.
Well, I hope that there is no politics button, because that's the first challenge that Jay Shah will have to face.
See, it is also, okay, some people from the outside might say this is flexing of muscles. It is, which to an extent it is. But I'm saying anyone who is in power has always flexed their muscles. Today you're in a situation where you had, I think now there are 17 votes if I'm not mistaken. There are your 12 full members. There are 3 associate by rotation that come. So that's 15. There's 1 woman member and then 1 chair, the existing chair. So 17 votes that you have. It was 17 zip because nobody else, funny that I'm talking about Dalmia winning 25. Here there was no competition, but also because I think you have gone so far ahead. Today, people look at it critically, but today you have a situation where BCCI gets 40% of the ICC revenue.
Yep.
40% of the ICC revenue comes to BCCI. The next best, the four countries that benefit the most out of ICC revenues are India, of course, on top, England, Australia, and Pakistan. So these are the four countries that get the maximum. But just to let you know the difference, 40% is India's. The next best in line is ECB. They get about 6.5%.
6.5%.
So you can see
That's the gulf.
That is the gulf. But the argument towards that is, BCCI says that they get 80% of the revenue comes out.
Exactly, yeah.
So if we're getting 80%, we're only taking 40%.
Yeah.
So that's
you can't deny the economic superpower that India truly is. I mean, under this individual, the media rights for the IPL were sold at 48,690 crores.
But there are many reasons for that. What I feel is it's obviously the administrative part also, but also what the players are also doing. At the end of the day, it's about what people want to watch, and because of the population size, everyone wants to watch good quality cricket, and because the quality of cricket has also sort of improved with the years, that's why I think India's hold in general over the economics also has sort of
it's the IPL also.
It is. No, it
But
is.
IPL also, why?
It is
Because-
much like, can I tell you, it is much like different, I mean, again, we're not getting into the politics, it's much like a progress of a country.
Yeah.
No one person can be responsible. If a country sees a growth, that growth has to be over a 30, 40, 50 year period. Nobody can change the country up in 5 years or bring it down in 5 years. So down you can bring in 5 years by being a disaster. It is possible. But for any growth to happen, has to go like this.
Sustained
similar in
progression.
BCCI, that's what I'm saying.
37 years
I don't
it's
think,
taken them.
Yeah, I don't think it can be just attributed to one person that went like Shashwat points out. I think it was, again, interesting that it again goes back to Ayaz Bindra and Jagmohan Dalmia
also.
and NKP Salve, something that started in the 80s.
Yeah.
It was the starting point.
Starting
And if
point.
today you're sitting on 50,000 crores for broadcast rights, it's primarily down to every other person. And some of them we've been critical of. Some of them who overstepped their brief, including an N. Srinivasan. There were issues there.
Yes.
And because of overstepping, high-handedness, the BCCI had to go through a complete constitution change. That happened. But he's also responsible for the growth in terms of, and the IPL came under, I know Lalit Modi was the catalyst, but it also came whilst N. Srinivasan was there and Jagmohan Dalmia was there and Ayaz
Shashank
Bindra.
Manohar.
All of them, yes. And they've all had their other issues as well. Ditto was Shashank Manohar. He's at the good side. He's also had reasons for us to criticize him. But all of them have played an active role in reaching where it is. And they are, of course, as it happens with the country, the future generation reaps the benefit of what is done by earlier generations.
Yeah.
So it's the same. And their mistakes are also, they have to bear the brunt.
Which I think two of them did.
Like Pakistan cricket is facing at the moment.
The system is
Bear the brunt or bear the ire?
Not the ire, the brunt.
black. I mean, if you're talking...
Ire is emanating out of them. Anger, but...
What anger? Pakistan now is at its absolute rock bottom at this point in time. Pitches can't be made according to their will, no fans. They can't seem to be winning at home. Away also they have lost so much. What do? And in Jay Shah's election, if you look at it, it was 17-zip unanimous. The one entity that we thought, okay, maybe they might have that against vote.
No, but that would have only happened if there was another
Nobody else was
There's no
standing.
candidate.
They could also have
It
abstained.
doesn't
They
quite,
could have,
it doesn't work like elections in parliament, right? Where you can abstain.
Yeah.
They had to vote for somebody. There was nobody else.
There was no voting.
Yeah.
Once there is no other candidate.
It's unanimous.
It's unanimous. Yeah.
Yep.
So
From
in this
Barclay, they took over. Jay Shah just took
It
over.
is. Of course, it serves the purpose also of Jay Shah, because he had to anyway let go of cricket administration now. So 6 years, as you know, is the rule that you can work to. By the way, that also went through change. If you remember, just to refresh your memory, earlier that 6 years of working and then a cooling off period included both at the state level and at the
national
BCCI
level.
level.
Yep.
If that was to happen, Then they took over in 19, Saurav Ganguly and Jay Shah, but because they had also worked at the state level for Gujarat as well as CAB, they only had a year and a half in their tenure. And then that 6 year was ending, and they went to court and got a verdict in their favor, which said no, 6 years for state will be looked at differently, 6 years at the BCCI level will be looked at differently, which is what allowed at that time Saurav Ganguly and Jay Shah to continue. Of course, Jay Shah has now done his 6 years, which will get over in 2025. So it's timed out perfectly that his 6 year finish. So he'd had to let go of neither state nor at the top level. He would have had to just concentrate on other personal businesses.
ACC also he'll have to give up.
Everything. He wouldn't have been great at
ACC. He's also in fact already part of one of the financial growth and financial committee.
In the ICC.
In the
commercial,
ACNC. That's what it's called. One commercial committee is already a part of. So
that's a very powerful committee. I think that's the one which deals with
revenue.
Money and
So he knows what it is to work in the ICC already, for those who don't know. So he'll have to relinquish that. Obviously, as Nikhil points out, he'll have to relinquish all responsibilities that he has in the Indian frontiers, and that also in many ways.
But imagine if he hadn't become, he would have been out of cricket administration. For 3 years.
For 3 years he'd have to.
And then he could have made a comeback into BCCI for another term.
Or Gujarat.
By the way, there's another interesting thing, and which is going to be tricky. Not a lot of people have now looked at it, but it's going to be interesting. What happens is that when you become the the ICC chair, till now the rule is it's a 2 year tenure, right? And you can get an extension. You're allowed 3 extensions, so you could get 2. So effectively allowed 6. Now, but in Jay Shah's case, he can continue with 2 years, but then 1 year he'd have to sit out. If he wants to return, or he does 4 years, and then after 4 years attempts to come back in the BCCI. But do you know there is an interesting but there? Even before he's become the chairman, the talks started very recently. Maybe it was planned in advance. If it was, it's great planning. I don't know the details, but I do know that this is something that the ICC has been contemplating, of changing that 2 tenure into 3. And not 2 years, but only 3 years.
So that the orchestration, if there is any,
it'll fit down perfectly. So 3 years he can serve. He doesn't need an extension. 3 year get over. 3 year cooling off gets over. Precisely bang on at the same time, and can get back.
And then you can get into domestic setup again.
BCCI setup.
Yeah, domestic setup. From ICC you can get to domestic setup.
From international to domestic.
That way.
International terminal to domestic terminal.
I don't think he'll go to the Gujarat.
So with 2s and 3s.
President, BCCI.
Yeah, but specifically in this state.
Being a secretary of the board.
If you look at it, 3 years, he'll not be 40 also. He'll be I think he'll be the youngest ever BCCI head if he comes back after 3 years.
Yes.
I don't think no one under 40. I think no one has head the BCCI at this point.
You're right. Yeah, will be.
So
I think youngest before him would have been Anurag Thakur.
But I think he was also 40 plus, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. No, Anurag 100%. Yes, he would have been. Yeah, he would have been just about
until 2017.
That's the thing. He would have been. Yes. Now I was just trying to. I know which batch he is of cricketers. So I was just trying to equate. He was. He should be in his 50s now. Early 50s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Anurag Thakur.
So 2017, would have been in his 40s. So
big achievement. A lot of firsts for Jay Shah in a big way. So that's why this is a landmark thing in whatever way you look at it.
What does he do with the Pakistan Champions Trophy situation? What is everyone's? What will happen?
That is challenge number 1. I think the main thing in this thing.
No, we know that is a challenge. What do you think will happen?
Is it the challenge number 1?
I feel so.
It is the biggest challenge. See, everything.
Because the boat I feel could have sailed by then. There's already Greg Barclay over there. See, the decision has to happen by October, November anyway. He takes over 1st of December. That's just 2 months left for you to then be participating. I doubt there'll be a make or break situation where Jay Shah can really have an active say. By then, I think the decision will be out.
But personally, I don't feel anything would have changed either ways. So for me, according to me, anyways it would have been hybrid. There was no chance India was going.
How I mean the question would be in hybrid. Just again in hybrid, how do you, let's say India reach the semi-final, what do you do then? So you decide the semi-final can be anywhere. If India has not reached, then it's in Karachi. If they have reached, then suddenly
Dubai.
you can't do that.
They have to do that. What you did even in the World Cup, if Pakistan, it wasn't a change in the
No,
country.
there was nothing. See, those things were
Mumbai. It was for security purposes.
In hybrid you had the Asia Cup, but in the Asia Cup it was pre-decided that your final is happening in Colombo. Whether it was Pakistan making it or not, it was pre-decided. My point is, if it is indeed hybrid, what happens between what happens for semis and finals? See, okay, assuming it's hybrid, you decide India matches not playing there, that can be decided. But what do you do if India reaches the semis? Or do you already decide, okay, one semi, you have the seedings and all, happens outside. Even if India doesn't reach, it will still happen outside. And final, you can't, at the last moment, you can't have two venues for the final.
No, I think it would be somewhat like one semi-final in Pakistan
And final?
itself, and final I think out. Then you will
think
have no
Pakistan
other
will be okay to have the
Pakistan will be really happy with the fact that because they are not going to be the ones who are going to be dictating terms.
Acha. Okay.
No, but
Really
they have got
doesn't
the
matter.
hosting rights.
But that too they had earlier also.
But it's an ICC tournament, so ICC decides.
Exactly. And also I feel that final would be outside Pakistan, one semi-final they can have outside,
And
one in Pakistan.
India can afford to antagonize them because at the ICC now no voting is only happening. So earlier you had to keep everyone together because voting unanimous hi ho raha hai.
See, we have to understand one thing, that in the case of India versus Pakistan, be it any ICC event or this thing, it is the government that takes the final call. Be it any kind of a situation, okay? Previous ICC events, you used to get away with it because you are not playing in this particular part of the world. 2019 was the case. But it will be unfair if India says, okay, we won't go to Pakistan, for one simple reason, that in 2023, Pakistan came to India. Security, yes, Hyderabad you put up in Ahmedabad, you've been to Kolkata.
They just didn't come to Delhi, Mumbai.
Mumbai anyway, they were not expected to come anyway.
Delhi, they did not
Chennai,
come. Chennai.
they were there in
they played in. I'm talking about the places they didn't go to.
They didn't go to.
I agree the merit in that, but Siddharth, that I mean again, there will be better people who decide that. But because Pakistan came here, could it necessarily mean that a reciprocal call has to be taken, because both countries can going to each other differently, going to each other's country.
Pakistan came in 2016 also.
Yeah, but then see, now at that time the situation hadn't gotten that hostile. The situation changed in 2019 following Pulwama. Now Pulwama became that red flag that okay, there was such a big boycott call from the Indian side that don't play the game versus Pakistan in Old Trafford.
Yeah.
There was such a big call. Now the situation remains the same. You have had neutral venues and now you are going to play your first major ICC trophy here after a gap of 7 years. In the subcontinent, I mean, you got another in 2023 which you played, that Pakistan reciprocated.
I have one idea actually what Pakistan can do. They can let AI decide which where they can
80%, 20%.
20% human decision.
They have done that so that nobody points fingers if anything goes
So
wrong.
then they can do for this also. Nah. Saying, listen,
That's what they have.
How could Pakistan even think about this, considering the fact that even if you try AI, UI, AI 555 5 times over, 10 times over,
Chat GTP or GPT.
they still can't produce pictures. Okay.
Ashrat knows how to use Chat GPT.
He must be writing all his articles based
No.
on I know that.
That thing came his way.
Why do you get him into trouble?
But I actually I was given that idea a lot of times, but I never. Never.
Maybe it might not be a bad idea.
No, I don't want to. I thought that it won't be of any help. I just go there for to get things checked. What I do, I just get.
But that also is wrong, because he's using the wrong tool for what exactly the error that he's trying to rectify.
But I just go there for things to get checked. I just put it there and this ask ChatGPT to check it once for me.
This will be Pakistan's situation, I'm telling you. What do?
They will make the itinerary and put it in Chat GPT and then
Chat GPT, dude, not happening. That might
right now, what would be the question to Chat GPT then? Should we hope that India will
See,
come?
I'll tell you one thing. I don't know whatever the decision.
Can we ask ChatGPT that?
See, firstly, I think what Siddharth says is right, that I don't think, because people are looking at Jay Shah, I don't think it will be up to Jay Shah to be, because it will be a decision taken by the Indian government primarily, and then you will have to abide by it. Whatever he does, he's in a precarious position. I'll tell you why. Because firstly, he's an Indian. Secondly, he's been part of the BCCI. So whatever decision he takes, whether it's right or wrong, people from the outside will view it as, oh, there is that bias. He may take that decision very fairly, very independently, based on the merits of that particular case, and could try to be neutral as well as ICC Chairman. It is a possibility, right? But no matter the decision that he comes up with, people are going to look at
both sides will shellac.
Exactly.
But I just feel
it's a catch-22 sort of a situation.
Yes, I feel
because it's like, hypothetically, like I'm doing commentary as a former player in a club match, and that game involves my former club, and I'm doing commentary. I mean, it's a penalty. Now I'm in a precarious position what to say, because if I say it in the favor, even though I see the merit that yes, that should be penalty, but people are going to view it and nahi, ye to former player hai is club ka, isne iska namak khaya hai, so he will say it like that.
It's the kind of situation that Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher find themselves in every weekend while commentating at Sky.
It is.
But
so this is the first catch-22, and it's the.
But do you think that this is even a problem for Jay Shah, or is he even going to be thinking? I feel that there are bigger things he would be looking at.
This is what could be, see, all other things that you have, for example,
globalizing
those are
marketing.
See, but the thing is, those are very important things, but those are important things that we don't pay focus to. I'll give an example, political example. The biggest thing is, what food we get to eat, hunger, and these things are the biggest. But do we ever discuss that in politics? What we end up discussing is who has said this party is saying that party has said this person, which actually one spokesperson saying one thing against it, does it concern you, me, our life? No. All we care about, what are the jobs that we're doing, how much progress we are making, what money we make, or what kind of schools they are for our kids to study, whatever. These are things, or civic facilities when we go out, road is fine. These are things that actually, but how many times you discuss that? They don't become important. So when you say that there are bigger things for him to look at, which is factually it is right, but then that's only a very world view and idealistic view. What will happen, you and I also know that no matter what he does in these efforts, by the way, ICC takes these steps even now to globalize, whether they turn out to be right, wrong, successful, unsuccessful, nothing. But how many times would you discuss that? We don't, right? Because it doesn't. What we discuss is one statement: is player ne ye bol diya. So even he knows that no matter how many good decisions he takes for the benefit of international cricket, his tenure will be judged, or he would be judged based on what decision would be taken there.
Actually, we are all complimenting the fact that everything is perfectly in place for Jay Shah, right? Cooling off, it'll work perfectly for him. Actually, he takes over at one of the worst times possible.
Yeah, I mean, I won't say worse, but tough time.
I'll only 1.5 months left then for the Champions Trophy when he takes over. December, Jan, then February mid, you begin 2.5 months.
But the decision would have been taken by then.
By September, it'll have to be.
But it's interesting times that he's taken over in. I'll tell you why. Not just this, because in another couple of years' time, you're going to be hosting Pakistan all over again for the T20 World Cup.
See,
so now on his watch, things, again, you will have a view of it right now in 4 months, 5 months time. But maybe it will give us greater perspective as to what then the decision is, and what is it that we can do to convince Pakistan again, or what is it that India's stance is going to be then. That will make for an interesting reading of the situation as well.
3 avenues. All 3 avenues, Jay Shah will get banned for whatever it is. One, if he agrees, there will be massive backlash. Second,
people will say that, oh, now because he's become ICC chairman, he just wants to.
Exactly.
He may take the right decision based on the right merits of the case. But the other would be,
if you don't go to Pakistan, you're setting a very wrong precedent there. That's also there, because Pakistan came in 2023.
No, but Siddharth, that is what we are only seeing black and white.
Yeah.
This case will not be black and white. So there will be a lot of other things that, there's intelligence there is security, there's players. We discussed that yesterday.
Yep.
So you and I cannot pass a judgment, while you are right, and I also agree that okay, they came, it was an international tournament, and if you're against them, then you should not even host them. See, if terrorism and all such things are into consideration, and
Correct.
if they are, I want to back my country to the full,
Yeah.
then you should not even host them. Those are other arguments. But all I'm saying is that decision would be taken, or there are many other layers to it which not all of us are privy to. It's like, I mean, in diplomacy, if you speak to any diplomat and all, they'll tell you that the entire diplomacy is the duck syndrome. What is the duck syndrome? That when you see the duck go on water, you think it's calmly cruising because it's sitting. But inside,
It's like really
working
paddling hard
really
in
hard
that sense, yes.
to move like that. But on top, you're thinking, oh, look at what a chill life the
Yes,
duck has, moving at a quiet pace, sailing, where it's working very hard. So majority of these things that will come will be that under the water where a lot of hard work will be at. We're only seeing the cruising, so that's why we are saying, oh, they came, we should go, which is a point, factual point. But I mean, it's too many layers to it.
Too many.
But whatever, I'm see that we'll have a time to discuss as to whether that's right, wrong, whatever, when we know more facts in the case. My point is, he's in a precarious position when whatever decision happens.
Hybrid model, he'll be panned because logistically it's going to be a nightmare.
But then I think that's going to be Pakistan's decision to make. If they would be, I think even for the Asia Cup, they had the option to ship the tournament totally to Sri Lanka.
No, but Asia Cup is just only these many nations. Here you're going to have far more nations.
But Sidvi sir, even if they have an option to do it hybrid or totally shift the venue, I think they would still go for the hybrid, because then if they now decide to shift the tournament all over again, it's going to be really difficult to sort of take the rights for any other hosting rights for tournaments in the future to come.
See, whatever venue they decide, okay, if it's by that, Pakistan will still have the hosting rights to it, like what happened in 2022.
Yeah.
Asia Cup T20 was scheduled to be held in Pakistan, but then it was held in the UAE. Pakistan got the hosting rights for it.
Yeah.
Same with the Asia Cup also. Now, there is no other nation wherein you can host at this particular point in time.
Yeah.
February and all in the Australasia and in the southern hemisphere, it's totally
You'll
done.
find a place.
That
Places
you can
will
have
be-
it in
UAE
UAE.
is the only viable option at
Who
this
knew
point in
the
time.
Asia Cup in the rain will happen in Sri Lanka? They did it.
And they changed the one venue also, which was
Hambantota. I mean, it was initially going to be Hambantota, then they went somewhere else. Dambula was
Then
thought
Palakkad.
of-
I had a great time because news was coming every
Exactly.
day. Because I mean, when I broke that news at Hambantota, I got to know because I knew packing had started.
Yes.
Broadcasts are moving. They've been told Hambantota flights. Suddenly, poor guys are told no.
Colombo.
They are changing. It was
Exactly.
a chaos. It was a chaos.
That chaos, see, for the first time, I think for the first time ever, if it happens, ICC will host in a hybrid model. First time ever.
ICC tournament, yeah.
Yeah.
First time ever.
No, because in previous instances you've had
Multiple
countries-
hosts.
Yeah, multiple hosts, and countries have not gone, and all of that. No leeway has been made. No exceptions have been made. No leeway has been given. None of that. This time.
But I don't think they'll definitely, because they've come so far not to have it hybrid somewhere else now.
See,
No,
we'll
sorry,
do a
to
discussion on when or what or where
Yeah.
it should happen later. Right now, only focused on Jay Shah and his role.
Now-
Other challenges.
Can he balance out Test versus T20I? Because he's reiterated in one of his comments, like Test cricket remains the bedrock. And that is why amidst the T20 leagues which are flourishing, we want to ensure that more talent comes to Test cricket.
I have a tougher proposition.
Yeah.
Will he move the WTC final out of England?
England.
Well, let's deal with the matter. See, Rohit Sharma has come out and said few things. He has said that one, why must it only happen right after the IPL? Why can't we look at another time of the year? He mentioned that. Two, he said, why must it only happen in England? He mentioned that. And Rohit Sharma is the designated captain.
Yeah.
He's got all the backing that he wants. So earlier ICC did not listen. ICC had decided. Now will the ICC listen?
I think they have already announced it.
No, not immediately. There's going to be a 3-year term here.
No, I mean, if I look at it, the WTC thing has already been announced till 2025 anyway. So, Lords, this time I think
This, of course, you
2027.
can't change.
this-
We're talking
That's what
forward.
I said.
2027 he might. I will say
where
he
will-
will.
in
But
India,
I still don't think that's the biggest fish he has to fry. I think
Yeah.
the
No,
bigger
may not
trouble
be.
for him is
May not be, but I want the answer on that. We'll get to the way.
Yes, he should.
where will he keep it then? And why should he shift it?
Why not the UAE? Neutral venue.
Because your captain has asked for it.
No, but he's the captain of the Indian team, na? He's the chairman of ICC. There's a
But you will not listen to the Indian captain.
no. Then you should listen to all the captains then, according to that. If you have to listen to one captain, what if he changes the venue and all the fusses because Rohit Sharma said it and then India doesn't qualify?
See,
No, he may say that I'm not looking at Rohit Sharma saying it. I see merit in the case that WTC final should on rotation go to most countries.
Yeah, on rotation. Yeah, that is a possibility that there can be a rotation policy that is to be followed for a longer period of time where everyone has an opportunity to
I'll tell you one more thing. Timings, okay? So on timings alone, eliminate West Indies and New Zealand.
Why?
Okay.
West Indies played morning matches for Indian.
But pink ball, India. Well, if you say morning, if you have to see
No,
morning in
WTC
India.
final to ping ball.
Arey Baba, but you don't need morning. You need morning only, na, for prime time here.
Yeah.
Okay, but 9 o'clock here means night time in the West Indies, where you won't get any audiences. You know which is the best venue to host? Any time of the year where you won't get that much of rain threat also.
New York.
Zimbabwe.
New York also a possibility.
New York, yet
Because
again.
New York will be West Indies time.
West Indies time,
Same
Zimbabwe.
9.5 hours.
But you can do a pink ball test.
That is one suggestion that he can
Then
make.
to then
ping
even
ball
that should also
Australia.
change.
Ping ball 8:30
Ping ball
India
Australia.
time. Huh? 8:30 AM is India time.
But then for the far west, it's a trouble, no?
Far west is a trouble.
Match will be finished in 2 days.
Oh please.
Happen in India
In
too.
places
No,
like
they-
Adelaide.
Arey Shivam, they will change the pitch also in New York, na? But that is another challenge that he'll have to ensure that next time you have, if you have.
Next time you don't say that pitches have come from there
By
and
the
they're
way,
made in Florida
one of the
only.
biggest challenge which not a lot of people will know, there was a lot of issues that happened within the ICC while organizing the T20 World Cup. They took it to the US, they punted on a lot of things. At India, Pakistan will give us, though it was a success there, people came, but overall you've ended up losing a lot of money. The budgets were very high. They've spent about 20 million in organizing that, and there was a big inquiry after that. 2-3 big people have had to, they've resigned, but it is almost as if they were asked to because someone had to take ownership. So big shots, big time professionals who were employed have had to let go of their jobs. So there is a bit of a churn happening in the ICC, which is another thing he has to rectify. I must also tell you that I have seen in the, at the risk of making people, and I saw it, we reported it also at this ICC, that there was, even though India controls a lot of cricket, India does a lot of things, the ICC was still being run in the old days that I spoke about, where, Indian team, Indian journalists per se were getting a raw deal, and it wasn't really being run in a way that, or a country that provides 80% of the revenue should have been treated. The team wasn't treated. We reported that, if you remember, during the World Cup, the
flight
kind of
bits and all that.
food, a lot of the demands, the security, the things that they were put under. So that those are things. So ICC had also started going back to those pre-87, 88 years where it was being run by, the Western folks, and it kind of reached that, and I saw it firsthand while we were there in the West
St.
Indies.
Lucia, I guess. That peaked in St. Lucia.
Most of the whole, even in the US, by the way, even in the US, the way it was done. So I think that needs a bit of changing, maybe a bit of not Indianization, but Asianization might help, because anyway, the games running here are much better than
Then
the
certain
other
other,
countries.
I mean,
Maybe
in the subcontinent,
entrust them.
only India is running well.
Yeah, maybe
Pakistan is a mess, Sri Lanka is a mess, Bangladesh is a mess.
Yeah.
So that is why. Looking at
Nepal
all.
is doing good.
No, Nepal has been, the political interference has been bad, na?
Yeah. No, but if the cricket does well, I feel everything automatically.
Yeah, but then see,
sorts itself
Nepal,
out.
unfortunately, what happened was that their political, same like Zimbabwe, board got suspended because of political interference. Now that is one thing. Cricket USA was also stripped. Political interference was so much, and that's why Cricket West Indies and one private enterprise ran the T20 World Cup. That's why they overshot the budget. Yeah. It was that chaotic. The US league in particular was very chaotic in that sense. So these are the things that ICC will have to get into order. No political interference from most of the boards. That is one thing which has been pushed to the backdrop, but we are seeing far more consistency happening there also. That's one. Second, hope associate nations and all of that get their due.
Harshit had important.
Yeah, how does Jay Shah, now that he's been elevated to the top post there is in world cricket, How does he now answer all those calls for more tickets?
Oh, he poor guy. I feel for him because it's not an easy. When we, minions or small time foot soldiers get so many calls. Can you imagine how many calls?
Now he's ICC.
No, now it's a good place. He'll say, only call me during ICC tournament. BCCI, I have no control.
No, but what is he going to
BCCI
do about ODI? You talked about the balance between T20 and Test cricket. I think that is somehow going to be managed. But what about ODI cricket? How is he going to sort of revive ODI cricket? That is
I
going
think
to
there's
be
one more
that's going
challenge
to be a
which I
very
was
big
talking
challenge.
to you about yesterday. How does he now manage the balance between international cricket and franchise cricket? There is theories being peddled around. You see the IPL go the way of the Premier League. In that case, ODI cricket, which many believe is heading into oblivion. Can he save ODI cricket as much as Test cricket faces a
Why
threat?
does ODI cricket need to be saved?
Because it's become boring, because it's too long for the generation,
Don't save
younger
it.
generation.
If it
Man.
is, then don't save it.
Exactly.
But again, that it
So
still has
again,
that
it's
charm
about
of
finding
the,
that balance as
winning
well.
in ODI World Cup is
No, that
something
charm ended with T20I's arrival.
No, but Sid,
Charm is of old Mukesh songs in black and white also. That's also charm. Start making your films like that. Go back to that music. Don't add so many beats and music.
But still, it's about winning the ODI World Cup. Still, I feel it's
So
the
maybe
biggest
it'll
deal.
remain as a World Cup thing.
Yeah, it'll only be a World Cup to World Cup thing.
Who knows? See, at the end of the day, the world is about the survival of the fittest.
Or just change it to a 40-over game.
Whatever be the case.
Everything
You'll
has
have to
been
take
planned.
steps.
I mean, see this format has undergone so many changes. Started out with
60 overs.
55, then became 50. Australia tried
Red
it.
ball.
Australia tried it 45 overs, 2 innings, 25 and 20.
Yeah.
Even that was also tried in 20.
That is not a bad.
2008 to 20, but it proved to be a failure.
That is what the great SRT also recommends, that you have 2 innings.
But they tried it in Australia, and he said it 5 years after it had been implemented. It
But
didn't-
I've never seen a match like that.
It happened in the VOP One Day Cup in
It's been
Australia.
happening in Gurgaon since many years. Generally, also.
Yeah.
अरे गुड़गांव में तो
also.
it's gully cricket.
You know,
yeah.
in my gully, I have had so many different matches with so
No,
many.
I
cannot take that as an example.
No, I was saying I have seen it only there. I have not seen it in the internet.
It happened in
I have just seen it there.
in the 2008 to 12 period, Ryobi One Day Cup in Australia. They had experimented with that, but it turned out
I
to
haven't
be
seen.
a bad.
I would want to see a match or two. Is it available? Highlights somewhere?
It should be available.
Let me see how it pans out.
I,
No harm while watching it, then you learn.
Yeah, 25 overs, 20 overs. Your best bowler could bowl. Suppose if it was 25 overs, he could bowl about 12-13 overs.
Best bowler on the day.
Best bowler
25
designated by the
में 12 वही डाल
captain.
देगा.
Why?
Designated.
That is the thing.
Yeah.
So, for example, one game of New South Wales, if I'm not mistaken, Brett Lee bowled 12 overs in that one day match.
no, and will he get
12 over the two.
Over the 2 legs, over the
then
2
it's fine. Other
innings.
25
Over the 25 over one.
Huh?
Over the 25.
Off at
That's not
25,
possible.
Yes.
he bowled 12.
I
Yes.
don't think that could be.
That is
And
not
then
bad.
he would have
No
had
wonder
another
it flopped.
quota in the first innings.
No wonder
That's
it
why it
flopped.
was
So
a
the
flop,
overall
yeah.
idea is
No, no,
better,
no.
but these
Yeah.
kind of
Exactly,
silly,
yeah.
sub rules.
Then who would? Then
That's
would just
like-
watch one bowler bowl.
Exactly.
whole
So
day.
he could have bowled 8 overs, I'm assuming, or 7 overs in the first innings of the first 20, and then the next 25 he bowled 12 in all 19 overs.
Yes.
No.
out of 40.
Out of 45.
45.
Best bowler designated on that day.
No, but is he going to get the impact rule also now in T20 cricket?
They are ending impact rule here, he'll get it there.
No, here
Although
there are still debates here. Also.
Although what will Ashwin say about that he's supporting
but
the
are
impact
we
rule.
ending it here?
No, they are thinking about it.
But I don't think it's going to happen.
August 10, let's
Should
see
end.
what happens.
Yeah, it should end, but I don't think it is going to.
August
happen.
end is here.
Because
any time now, any
broadcasters
day.
won't like that ending.
Broadcaster should be happy that they have now finally the marriage has happened.
Ah.
So they bigger fish to fry than
Holy and holy, whatever it is, it's a marriage now that's
it is
happening.
done.
It's a
We
holy
have one
alliance.
broadcaster. Indian cricket and all other cricket will be on one channel. No more competition.
No more
IPL competition is also over, by the way. TV versus digital, because
Yeah.
now it's the same entity.
It's the same entity.
That will have both.
It's good for the viewers or subscribers.
No.
How
No,
is it
it's
good?
not
No?
good at all.
How is it good?
Monopoly is never good.
Now it's
Subscription करने
अभी तक free में था भाई.
exactly.
अभी तक everything was free.
Yeah,
Now if I have it, I can charge you.
Yeah.
What can you do? It was free because
Yes.
you could go to anybody.
Yeah.
No, now the people can come for the
It was
analysis.
free. It was free.
People
Now-
don't need to watch the game; they can come. YouTube itself is
It
still
has
free now.
ended. That free subscription bit, this move, it's
We'll see.
ended.
We'll see. It's too early. Maybe they may continue.
Hope so.
We don't.
Free now. I don't think it's going to be.
Let's get some swal.
Free?
Free.
पूरे दिन फ्री ही रहते हैं हम, है ना?
Free. It's not going to.
I know. Let's
Hey,
hope not.
What was that? Siddharth in Three Idiots?
Free.
नहीं, that's not.
It was Three Idiots.
अरे, it
No,
was
it
not
wasn't
Three Idiots.
free.
It was in दीवाना, आवारा पागल दीवाना. एक हीरे के साथ दूसरा हीरा.
Oh
मुफ्त,
no!
मुफ्त.
When he tells Raju, when they were trying to cheer him up during the time that he was
He was
down,
in coma.
Coma.
Paneer and
Some amount of paneer.
No, sadi free. Something. It was about his mother.
मैं आपके पैर चुनूं आज आप
पता नहीं. I really have no idea.
So do you say you need? What were you watching on your week off? You were
Rugby documentaries. Yeah.
सीख लो कुछ.
Sir, I watched that only on my week off.
I know what you watch. Whatever you watch, you bring wrong information. X was the captain. Was this? Was that?
There you are saying now neighbor country got another reason to spam. ICC means Indian Cricket Council.
No, what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
That's why this is what I was saying, that you're in such a tough position. No matter what decision you take,
Yep,
there will be critics,
big time.
and that's going to be the biggest challenge to deal with that.
It won't be easy being Jay Shah. Let me tell you one
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Uneasy is the head that wears the crown.
that wears the crown.
But still, where's the crown?
It's the throne of
I
thorns.
will also want you.
Yeah.
I will.
Even
Uneasy,
I will.
okay, head.
Yeah.
To
Even
want
I
to wear
will.
that crown.
Yeah.
हाँ, चलो. Aravind Athreyas. Nikhil sir, will LSG release KL Rahul or retain as just player, as it's true that KL Rahul did not get any offer from other teams, so went to meet LSG owner? No, not true that he did not get any offers. How would you even know there's going to be an auction? Even if you don't get any offers, you go into an auction, and I think KL Rahul, whatever people may have in terms of perception, would have attracted a decent bid if he went to the auction. He certainly would have. Indian batters, regular batters are at a premium. Secondly, I think the owners today addressed the fact that he's an integral part of their team. So no question of letting him go, and I think that's why the meeting happened, to allay any fear that LSG fans, or at least KL Rahul fans, may have had.
So you're staying in LSG only?
At the moment,
At
it
the
does
moment
seem
looks
that.
like it.
But we don't know the rules as such, so how do you know how or whatever?
I think there will be a total. The teams will plan after August end, because you don't know the retentions, RTM.
Exactly. At the moment, it's very. See, but what teams would do, they would want to be in touch with a lot of.
Yeah, and I think even the teams, even if they have an option of retaining one player, they would be knowing who that one player would be. Like, I won't let this person
No,
go anywhere.
I
But
think they'll get more retention. And
but still, if there is
Up
one
to fourth, you can
but is that
expect.
one person KL Rahul for LSG?
Did you speak to the owner?
No, I have. I thought you would have. That's why I was asking you.
Priyanshu is saying, I will also do the same.
If they retain Hardik, Rohit and Surya will leave.
I don't know. It's all kite flying at the moment.
Yep.
Sarat Chandra.
Sarat Chandra saying yes, and all core built in 11 years will be smashed and need to build wholly.
I think this is.
talking to each other.
Yeah, they're talking to each other. Sharan Vinakota is like saying there is a meltdown in whole of Pakistan. They are apparently saying that this is the end of cricket. But Sharan, if they lose a series to Bangladesh, then you'll have to.
No, so I want to know, Sharan is saying because an Indian has been made the ICC chairman that they're saying, or is it because of the performance?
Performance.
That is
I
true.
don't think ICC chairman really. They have other things to fight for at this point. And losing in Test cricket, I think in itself.
No, see, it is all interrelated. Why I kept talking about that Champions Trophy. See, if you go to the core of why Pakistan is where it is today, it is also because, I think the terror attack 2008, after the decade that followed, where you got no cricket at home, no team is coming, that takes a toll, and the results don't emerge immediately. They take time to emerge, and I think the downfall started from there, when no international teams are going, when fans can't go watch their cricketer, domestic cricket. Of course, there other economical situation of the countries also had its effect, as it happens in most places. All of those things put together, the domestic structure,
insecurities inside.
yeah, all of that. So if a Champions Trophy, if Pakistan wants to revive, apart from doing a lot of other things correct, for them hosting a Champions Trophy will have a great positive effect in them trying to revive their cricket. In fans, fan interest, young kids taking up the sport, playing, more and more talent coming in. It makes a huge difference.
I mean, they haven't hosted an ICC event for 29 years. 1996 was the last they hosted.
The whole generation hasn't seen an ICC.
2011 they were supposed to host, but then the terror attacks in Mumbai ensured that was not going to happen. And last multi-nation that they hosted, I'm not counting the 2023 Asia Cup, because that was held hybrid, to 2008, when the Asia Cup was held totally in Pakistan. That's how long? 16, 29, you take your pick, which was worst. So that's the thing.
Sarat Chandra's funny joke is shocking that AI knows the Pak players in the first place. AI knows everything.
AI knows.
But I understand your joke.
Yes.
Aravind is saying, Nikhil sir, if KL comes to auction, will he go unsold? I don't think so. I think he'll go, sir.
See, there will be a demand, and I am saying that
RCB's favourite.
yes,
RCB would definitely.
No, there'll be other. See, all I'm saying is to get again, KL gets criticism sometimes for the right reason, sometimes. But even then, an India level player, or whether you have him in the team or you keep him out, but he's that level player. Is I'm not talking. I'm making the distinction from a domestic player to an international. He's an international level player. You can criticize him, and sometimes rightly so, for when he's not ready. But there are times where he's stepped up as well. So it's a mixed bag, that career. But I'm saying that level batters, Indian batters are rare. And each team needs so many of them.
And
so
captaincy option
it's a
also.
question of supply and demand. It's not so much so specifically to him. I'm sure he'll go sold. Yeah, may not get the kind of prize money that he was getting now, but definitely will get sold.
Yep. Daniel is missing, but apart from England and Australia and India, if India plays, nobody watches Test cricket in stadium. That's not good for people seeing empty stands on WTC final. Maybe that's the reason why.
Which is, by the way, okay, I don't know if I've said this before. It's interesting that I did. Well, I did ask Jay Shah this question when he had an interaction with us, and that wasn't a behind the scenes, some private thing. It was a on record interaction where I did ask him that, and he did mention it was a very valid thing where he did say that, listen, England works for a lot of things, there are a lot of reasons. So I don't think that because you're right that the Indian captain has asked for it, he's just going to say, oh no, now we're going to pull it out. You'll have to look at a lot of things. Some things that go in England's favour is the time, as you say. And secondly, the most important thing is the fact that no matter which country plays, there's a good chance you'll have a packed house.
Yes.
Or at least people coming into watch. Imagine, you have it in Sri Lanka, and as I said the other day, England and New Zealand are playing the final. How many people? Few fans might come.
Even here, let's not forget when we had the start of the World Cup happen in India.
It was an empty stadium.
Exactly. It didn't make for a good viewing. People were calling the ICC out. People weren't appreciative of Indian crowds also, not just because India wasn't in action for the first couple of days. Remember, the opener happened in Ahmedabad, and then you were calling into question, what is it that's wrong with the fan base that we can't watch a neutral team play?
That's the thing. If you put any other foreign team in subcontinent or maybe in Australia, New Zealand in particular, why it won't work? There won't be much of fans, and the highest capacity that you got there is over 20-30,000 for a WTC final. Do you really want that? Sure, England is 35,000, but still there will be much more guaranteed attendees in England than New Zealand or Australia for that matter.
Sharon Vinokota says, no, Nikhil bhai, they are saying because Jay Shah has become ICC. I was telling you. What is he talking about? Why is there anger in Pakistan? They are saying that cricket is finished. Noted Pakistan journalists are tweeting on X and not him. See, again, that's what I said. It's a very tightrope. Even if he takes fair decisions based on merit of a case, and if they happen to be against Pakistan, he will be viewed like that. So it's not an easy thing. If he takes decision, sometimes end up favoring Pakistan, there could be another group that could go after him, saying that, oh, now he's trying to be, the statesman-like, and so it's not an easy place to be. I agree. But then that's the challenge, and some people like the challenges, and I'm sure Jay Shah knows fully well he's getting into. It's a challenge that I'm sure he wants to take up.
So, which other comments? Akshit Tyagi, watching from Canberra. Okay. Will you be sending your reporters to Australia to cover BGT in November?
I thought Siddharth is going. He has an uncle there. He said.
My mama is there, but
he asked me for leave. I said, please.
this
Rich man.
You can ask one of your friends across the sea to send a chopper for you that can take you to the other
that
side.
was only from Colombo to Jaffna, for that matter, my friend. Not from here to Australia.
Indian Ocean.
We do not know, Akshit, about
really
that.
don't know.
Yeah. But as and when if we know, we will keep updating you. Well, I mean, again, goes without saying that whether we have reporters there or not, BJT is going to be massive for us. So we'll be
Yes.
covering it nonetheless.
Yep.
Yeah, from our studios at least.
Exactly. Any other comment?
You can take anyone.
Sham Badgujar.
What's he saying?
Are going to do proper discussion on the Paris Paralympics.
How many discussions we've done? We've done a lot, yeah.
We have done interviews,
yeah.
we've done some lives on their sending off. There's also going to be another lot of things. I mean, tomorrow is going to be one major medal event for India, Taekwondo.
Oh,
Let's see.
I was talking about Paralympics.
Paralympics. Yeah. So we will be doing all that. Today is the opening ceremony. So that's 11:30 p.m. IST.
Final question, Karthik K from the US. By the way, Akshit was from Canberra. Beautiful place. Yeah. I first went there in 2003 and it was like a dead town. Like 6 p.m. After 6 p.m. you could not see anybody. It was a capital, but there's nobody for like about kilometers. You could not. After 6, there's no market, nothing you could find. But
2003 for India's that BG
no,
won
I
one.
went for some other trip. No, nothing to do with covering sports. So, but then when I went in 2015, the last time, it had
World Cup.
changed.
Oh,
Canberra.
Canberra,
Say,
yeah.
It had changed a lot.
but that was for World Cup or again
That was for World Cup. That was.
So we watched the West Indies Zimbabwe game. Canberra.
I saw the Afghanistan was.
But there's not too much cricket in Canberra,
I
right?
just want to see Afghanistan.
Not too much cricket there.
No, they have a ground where international
Manuka
matches.
Yeah, but they do not have too many games there.
They don't get too many because again it's just the capital, smaller.
And
place.
also your major matches are fixed, na. Perth will be, I mean, Perth or Brisbane will be season
Perth,
opener.
Adelaide,
Ping
Sydney,
ball,
MCG.
Sydney MCG will be your New Year and Boxing Day test
Yeah.
anyway. So
It's like Delhi maybe, yeah.
Delhi still a
Delhi
major
still
center.
is
Canberra
a, yeah.
Canberra isn't. Okay, so it's an Afghanistan game. Okay.
Final question, Karthik.
Karthik K from the US is saying, is KL most underachieved Indian player given his talent? Most underachieved Indian player given his talent, KL Rahul. Well, for ODIs he isn't. Test matches maybe, T20Is definitely. ODIs he's not underrated.
Most.
Yeah, he's not underachieved in ODIs definitely KL Rahul. T20I, yes he has. Test matches again very mixed. There was a period when he was not because of test match performances, not because of ODI or T20. T20 and I can imagine 21 and 22, yes, that sticks out like a sore thumb in KL Rahul's case. ODIs no way. Test matches yes, and T20Is yes, he has underachieved.
Shashwat can have his word on this.
No, I to feel in Test cricket also.
He felt because he'll be unsold, no?
No, I didn't feel so. I'm just saying he could even be the captain and he could be the best.
RCB.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is
RCB
what
need a captain and a
they
wicketkeeper.
need, yeah. And an opener also. Then they'll both
Three in one.
KL, Virat.
He's
What
a
a
local
pair!
boy.
Yeah.
And what a pair it's going to be.
If he will play for RCB, then he will be the tournament
Man of the
man of
tournament.
the
Most destructive pair of the IPL.
You ready to let go of your captain?
No problem, but this is good for him.
Or for better for your franchise?
Better for
No, but then Virat and KL would open, right?
Yeah, Virat and KL would open.
So most destructive pair of the IPL.
But KL is a interesting case because someday he can be the
Yeah,
most
yeah.
destructive batter.
But those some
And
days are
some
not.
days it's just like I don't
Some
know
days
what
are
happened.
very less in number.
Yeah, but I'm saying that there is an ability to do that.
Yeah, he
a
has
lot of
the
people
ability.
want to be but don't have the ability.
Yeah.
He has that. But
this
why
time-
is it that someday he's
But even if they don't have the ability, they are able to achieve that. Even
No,
without
a
the
lot-
ability.
No, a lot of people try to be that aggressive but they've not. You know, he's had some of the fastest hundreds of big scores also.
everything.
Yeah, so, but all I'm saying is that there are other players who try to be that aggressive
Yeah.
but have not achieved it. They attempt it, they cannot. In his case, he's shown you not once, not twice, multiple times. But then he's also showed you a very different side of him on different times, which
And it's
actually
not just that
baffles you.
and he hasn't just scored on flat tracks. He's also done well on spinning
Exactly.
tracks on days, on
I'm saying
given
a
days.
guy who has the technique to get test hundreds abroad, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Sena countries, if you look at it,
Centurion back to back, only
Yeah.
Indian.
he's hit in England, he's hit in Australia.
Yes.
So it's not that
It's baffling though. See, whatever you are, either you're a good player, okay player, average player, but your graph runs like this because you know an ability. Some person can only go this much, some can go this much. In this case, it can go here, sometimes comes here, sometimes.
But by now he should have been one of.
I mean, yeah.
He should have been that third person when we talk about
Should
Rohit,
have.
Virat, and KL.
No, that's why he was almost your designated captain. That's the guy you were going to go to. But then,
But you even
batting
wanted him after Virat, na? According to the plan, it should have been Virat and then KL Rahul. Rohit Sharma wasn't there in the plan.
no, that wasn't the case. That wasn't always the case. It was. I agree that he was made, but I don't think that at that moment they saw the transition that Virat will suddenly stop playing.
Talk about South Africa, right?
No.
The time that he led in South Africa, KL Rahul.
Yeah. But also that he why he should have not have been the captain that one, because he wasn't there. He hadn't like cemented his place in those.
No, I think he had cemented, but you're right. We hadn't
His
seen
injuries.
much of his injuries or
Injuries
He was
also
let down by his injuries
More
as
than
well.
that, dip in form and then suddenly one innings where he just.
No, the problem with KL was that if it was not just one injury, his injury came in waves.
Yeah,
One injury led to another, another led to another.
Really
so
poured for him.
But
22
again,
was a horrible year.
But
yeah.
injuries again, sort of you need to manage it yourself. At the end of the day, it's you who are suffering.
But
nobody
the
else.
thing is, at times it's just the body type, and I'm the same body type, so I know.
Yes.
I think he's a two-mind player. He always go with two minds.
He's
Yeah,
never
that's true.
clear. He's always in two minds, to play aggressively or not. That's also the franchise he was in, na? Punjab.
No. He only made that franchisee like that. He wasn't like that.
That's the problem.
Mayank Agarwal was
Only Mayank Agarwal and KL Rahul. That's it. Who else was there?
Where?
No, Puran came much later. he
Punjab,
wasn't
na.
the Nicholas Puran. That
Punjab,
we see
na.
now. That Nicholas Puran has given wings because of LSG, not more so by Punjab Kings. Exactly. So that's it. That was the last super chat that we
on
took.
that.
On that note, yes. All the best to Jay Shah, because he's gonna be sitting on the throne of thorns at this point from December onwards. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us. From me, Nikhil, Shashwat, and Harshit, it is bye-bye. See you soon. More sporting updates coming your way. Nandri, I know you. I'll come to that.
We've been waiting for you since 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah, you were off 2 days, no?
So thank you for that. But
No. So we were waiting for you.
Yeah.
That is what I'm saying.
yes, I'm back.
He follows your cue beautifully, because
Yeah.
the other day,
Otherwise,
you're
if somebody else goes, then I sort of
Yeah.
get confused.
You get confused.
Yeah, because nobody like sort of says it in the same order.
Okay. So okay then. Good night. Nandri, Vanakkam, Shabba Khair. Eat your vegetables and
Shubhratri.
I said Shubhratri.
And don't trouble your mother.
Don't trouble your mother. Bye bye.